Okay, 25 February 2024, and I would like to welcome the delegation from the Zimbabwe Economic Freedom Fighters Alliance. How are you, President, and the rest of the general?
Thank you. I'm fine.
Thank you, Kambakwe. So we are fine.
And we also extend our thanks to your.
Okay, we've got a number of new faces. President, would you like to introduce, or do you want them to introduce themselves?
Okay. I will introduce them to you, to the rest of the world, and they will introduce themselves. On my left, on the left down, that's our Vice President, and that's our Vice President, Honorable Mtapa Bere, and our Commissar, as you know, Honorable Stoller. You have seen him before, and he has spoken to you before, and me, you know, I've spoken to you a number of times. So yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. And as you know, I've got electricity issues in South Africa, so I would like us to quickly go through the discussion for this week. And I would like to start with your ultimatum. You've given a 3-month ultimatum to the key players in Zimbabwe, which is the government of President Mnangagwa and the opposition party of Nelson Chamisa, to have dialogue. Where are we with that ultimatum?
I don't know. Okay, let me start it. What I can tell you is Gambakwe and the rest of the world. On the ultimatum, we wait. We give them 3 months, and we do not have a prescription to what is going to happen, what is the outcome of the dialogue that they should have. But once they don't sit down, we have the solution that is going to come from us. It might be a harsh solution, and it might be a radical solution, but we have a solution. And us, we are appealing to the Zimbabwean people that we have suffered enough. If the two entities does not want to sit down, they clearly don't have people at heart. We have people at heart. We are working for the people. A government supposed to work for the people, not the other way around. So if they don't want to work to sit down, they are clearly stating that they are not working for the people. They are not for the people. So if they don't sit down, if they don't respond, it's our turn to respond. We will respond, and we might respond in harsh ways, and we might respond in radical manners. That's all I can say for now. We cannot hear you.
Sorry, I want to go around the table. Is there anyone else who wants to add on the issue of the ultimatum?
Okay, thank you, Gambakwe. You can go ahead.
Gambakwe, thank you so much. As we all know, the problems of Zimbabwe, this is no longer aligned to politics, that people have to do politics. We are talking of human lives here. We are talking of the precious virgin life of somebody who should be attended and leave a legacy to his or her own children. But it seems like both sides, they are playing politics. It's all about who is competing to be in the office, who would like to be called the president. Leadership is not about being a president or finding yourself in the office. It's about the people that you are going to lead. So the two parties, I can say the three parties must be ashamed of what they are doing to Zimbabwe. So we say either they respond or they are not going to respond. But our next position is to awaken the people. The people have got all the power. The people is the beast of the nation. The people can decide for themselves. As long as the people are well equipped mentally and know what is the next step to do. Because we are not saying they must get out of the office or so forth. We are simply saying consider and put the people of Zimbabwe first. But unfortunately, they are competing on political grounds. They are competing on who must be the best friend of their Westerners, talking about re-engagement. We don't need re-engagement in Zimbabwe. They are talking of their masters. No, we don't need their masters. We are saying only the Zimbabwean people. So it is a clear message that they are not considering the people. They are just considering their personal interest and their political party's interest. And we will have to make it clear to them. They respond, they don't respond. but the people have got the say. Only the people have got power. Zimbabwe is not a personal business or a country that can be led by a certain cabal. Zimbabwe belongs to the people who lives in the country. So whether they respond or they don't respond, but the people will take decisions. Our people are no longer sleeping like before. Our people are politically equipped. Our people are now understanding. Our people, that we don't need to say tomorrow we wake up, we run to the elections, we are going to cast the ballot box. Did it ever benefited the people? A person who has been on the ground for the past 45 years is still there eating dust. So it doesn't make sense. We are talking of a leadership that simply says, for the people first. When you consider your own people, the most important thing for any government is the human resources. But unfortunately, the human resources is not catered for. People are looking for their pocket. So hence will wake up the people. The people will decide for themselves.
Okay, so let's hear General Stole. What is your input on the issue of the 3 months ultimatum?
Gambagwe, thank you very much. As we are talking right now, you and me and the rest of the world, they believe that the lives people matter. And you need to understand that no one is a subhuman in his own country. And whatever is happening now, it is not good for the people. It is not working for the rest of the Zimbabweans. So we are just simply saying, if the government of Zimbabwe and the opposition cannot see the problems of Zimbabwe, they are simply showing us that they are not Zimbabweans. Because the Zimbabwean problems are displayed on top of the mountain. Everyone understands that. And if we can talk right now, just like what General said, we are not threatening to remove anyone from the office. What we are saying is that the government of Zimbabwe, under the administration of President Emerson Mnangagwa, and the opposition, which lodged a dispute of election, which is the CCC, under the administration of Nelson Chamisa, even though he seems to have left that political party, they need to come and finish up what they have started. They must not be in a position to wait and see what is going to happen. We have got history in our lives. There is 7 people of Chinhoyi who tried to fight and died. They lost that life because they were trying. They were in the position where the people of Zimbabwe are in now. Whether they are going to sit down or they are not going to sit down, there is something which is going to happen because people are not pleased of what is going on. We are simply activating the conscience of the people to know that they have got power. It is us as Zimbabweans who must do something to resolve the Zimbabwean problems. I understand this toxicity of saying we want to wait for SADC and all this stuff. We know there is an agreement, the protocol on politics, defense and security. There are certain agreements which are there, which will prohibit SADC to come and resolve Zimbabwean problems if the Zimbabwean doesn't do anything. For example, I can tell you that one of the things which they have to abide to is the independence of political activities in the country. So Zimbabweans, we know they have got solution, and this is a good message which I'm sending to the president of Zimbabwe and the president of the opposition, that the Zimbabweans, they have got solutions in their hands. What they need is leadership, and ZEFFA is going to stand between Zimbabwe and the problems of Zimbabwe to find a solution. There is a solution, Gambagwe. We are not lying on this one. We are not lying, and it is not a threat. But what we are saying is, let us not go there. Let us stand and recognize that our people deserve a decent life. There are problems which we need to understand. Right now, we are saying President Mnangagwa is the president over a mandate of 2 point something million, less than 2.9 million people. in the country of 15 million people. Where is the rest? 2 point something voted for the opposition. 2 point something voted for him. And where is the rest people? Where is the rest of the people? Over 10 million people are being governed without giving a mandate. So let us not say, no, let's test the waters. What is going to happen if we keep quiet? No, let us approach the Zimbabwean problem in a Zimbabwean way so that we can resolve the political problems which are there in order to give power to the function of our economy.
Okay, so I think I want us to let us wrap it up, President, and maybe let's hear what you have to say about the news that is coming out and the statements and slogans that are being given by ZANU-PF leaders. 2030, Mnangagwa Chipo. Is President Mnangagwa going to be there for the third term?
Third term, remember, Zimbabwe is one. In Zimbabwe, it's for the Zimbabweans, which means we have a say on who should lead Zimbabwe. Third term, panonetsa patinorowa gambako tingatozokera musango, tingatoudza vanhu kuti ngatizokere musango nekuti hatina kuwirirana nazvo, hatisi kutowirirana nazvo. Zimbabwe at this moment it's in a political turmoil. The economic is at hold, so we can't talk about third term. Once that third term is in motion, unconstitutional, number one. Number two, ndeipi nyika yawakazombonzwa iwewe kuEurope kana kuAmerica kunonzi ngatichinje constitution kuti accommodate president. Hakuna zvakadaro. You have a 2 term, you did your 2 term, it's enough. Give other people a chance to show their leadership and to give Zimbabwean people a chance to live a normal life, a better life. Maybe a better president will come. Maybe there's someone out there who has the better skills and who can remove Zimbabwe on its political turmoil where it is now. But third term, the ngavatokanga zvawo. Nechishona tinoti zvimwe zvese izvi tingataure zvedu, tingagone kunzwisisana pakuti vanhu vagare pasi tikwanise kuwirirana semhuri, asi third term hapana kuwirirana. There is nothing like that. Hatimbozvibvuma. SEZEFFA tagara tatozviramba zve-third term. Hazviko. Kembomhati zvokuti 2030 vanenge varipo izvoka. Kana ukazovaona ukazonzwa nezvavo vakazouya kwauri vaudze kuti hatazviramba zve-third term, hazviko.
Okay, so the third term is a red line. If that is crossed, it's immediate action.
Yes.
Okay, so let's wrap up. I want to go around the table and I'll end with the president. I want to start with you, Honorable Mtapa. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
Concerning the third term, let us be genuine here and tell the people the truth. In Africa, Zimbabwe is not the first country that is facing the outdated leaders, the old leaders. We should now be in a position to admit that they must be the retired staying at home and let the young people of Zimbabwe engage into the leadership position and take Zimbabwe forward. But if they would like to insist that they want to stay in power at their advanced age, that is not benefiting Zimbabwe at all. And today, they're in a way of trying to mend their relationships with their Western masters and so forth, that they would like to compensate them only because they would like to fulfill their mandate of corruption. And we are not going to accept that. We have got the majority on our side. We have got the edge on our side. So we can decide and determine the future of Zimbabwe. We will not accept that people at an advanced age, they are no longer able to discharge their duties in time and keep the promise to the people because of the age. Age also itself has got an important role to play in the politics. So if they want to go for a third term, the people of Zimbabwe are watching and the people will know what to do. I always believe in the people. Don't always push the people to another corner where the people will end up saying, we fought the regime of Ian Smith, and hence we can all still fight again. If people feel cornered and oppressed, the people can take an action. So it will be in the hands of the people of Zimbabwe to decide.
Okay, General Stole.
Thank you, Gambakwe. What I want the government of Zimbabwe to understand is that if the system is not working for the people, the system will create enemies for the people. Anyone who is against the development of a Zimbabwean child is the enemy of the Zimbabweans. At some point, we understand that they have got everything in exposure, but let me tell you the truth. The Zimbabwean people are angry. The Zimbabwean people are waiting for the change, and we are not going to attach the change to any person because we are mentally decolonized. What we need is the situation which will stimulate our economy to start working. So they might think that, oh, we can go after everyone who comes against the government. It is not going to work, because everyone from every position, from every rank, from every department, there is someone who is not happy. So for the third term, just to touch on that issue, it's not good, because that is where the problems start. Why is the constitution being subjected under a position of changing to accommodate a president? No, we had a succession problems since from 1980, and our youth are not given a clear way to participate in our economy, to participate in the governance of the country. Right now, as I'm talking to you, there's a lot of things which are behind. Talking of the technology in Zimbabwe, we are behind. Why? Because even the youth which are equipped with the modern minds are not being put or given chance to be in position to participate in their country. So I denounce the issue of a third term to President Emerson Mnangagwa. Let them give a clear way to youth to contribute to the development of the country.
Okay, I think let's go to President, and I want to add an additional question to you. You are saying if there's a third term declaration, it's a red line.
Yes.
What would be the options there? Are you going to take over, or are you going to hand over? What is your proposed leadership model?
As I always say, Gambakwe, we will not cross the bridge until we get to the bridge. Number one. Number two is the third term is a non-starter. We cannot repeat the mistake that we did in the first place. We had the same mistake with our late Robert Mugabe. May his soul rest in peace. Now we cannot face the same problem again. We can't repeat the same mistake. If we repeat the mistake that we did, it's no longer a mistake. It's a deliberate issue that needs to be dealt with. Now, if he talks about changing the constitution to accommodate himself as a president, trust me, Gambakwe, it's not a threat. It's an issue that needs to be dealt with now, and we will make sure that the youth of Zimbabwe and the people of Zimbabwe rise up and fight for that, because it is not humane to hold Zimbabwe at hostage or at ransom just to accommodate a president. A president should come and go. That's why they set a two-term. 10 years, it's enough for one person to take a country from one corner to another corner. So if you see yourself changing the constitution because you want to accommodate your presidency, it means you do not have people at heart. That means you are pursuing your own agenda. And with us, ZEFFA, it's not going to happen under our nose. We will create an uprising, and we will fight. And this is not a secret. Just let everyone know, and the whole Zimbabwe, I think you are watching me, this is not a secret. We will fight if he tries to create a third term. And as Zimbabweans, we are not going to lie about this. It's gonna be an issue that all of us, we will leave what we are doing and focus on destroying the third term idea. I thank you.
Okay, President, I wanted to ask on the issue of the leadership model, to say, what is your leadership model? If that was to happen, if there was a third term, have you considered what would transpire upwards after the, let's say there's a dispute and then fighting breaks out? What is your leadership model? Are you willing to lead, or are you willing to give someone else to lead?
The leadership comes from the people, Gambakwe. Remember, we have the people at heart. So if the people wants me to lead, I will lead. But I will give a chance to everyone to say, okay, this is the issue that we have. If someone can step forward and say he wants to lead, we will give him a chance. If the people wants me to lead, I will lead, because Zimbabwe clearly needs a leader. And if they want me to lead, I will lead Zimbabwe into a better future, into a future that everyone will flourish and have freedom, because that's what we are fighting for.
Okay, so it's clear. I understand what you're saying, that the third term is going to trigger events that we cannot control and which we have to deal with at the time. So I think it's clear to everyone, and you'll be willing to, you're prepared if that happens. As your team, you've got a plan for that contingency.
Yes, there is a contingency plan, as we said before, and we are going to say it again today, that we have a contingency plan. If they talk about the third term, we are going to trigger something else that has never been seen in Zimbabwe, and we are ready to lead as ZEFFA, and I'm ready to lead the people of Zimbabwe. That's all I can say for now.
Okay, I think we have all gone around the table, and it's been a long 22 minutes instead of the planned 15 minutes. So I think let's wrap it up here. We'll be back again next week with another update. Is there anything else that anyone wants to say before we close?
Yes, Gambakwe. What I just want to say is that I urge the president of Zimbabwe, the president of ZANU-PF, and the president of CCC, because we as ZEFFA still recognize Nelson Chamisa as a part of the CCC, taking it from the fact that he is having a standing dispute with the government of Zimbabwe under the banner of CCC, and has got an unresolved dispute, which is actually rendering the legitimate crisis in Zimbabwe. We urge them to respond to our calls, to sit down and resolve all the issues on a platform of dialogue. This is not for the benefit of ZEFFA. This is not for the benefit of anyone, but it is for the benefit of Zimbabweans. The Zimbabweans, they are desperately looking for someone who is going to deliver them. And we are preaching the very same message, that the power is in the people. And it is for the good of the peace of Zimbabwe to contain the situation and the anger of the people, which is right now on the grounds of Zimbabwe, before it goes out of hand. We are here to say, consider the problems of Zimbabwe, consider the suffering of Zimbabweans, and make sure that whatever you do, it will not affect negatively to the Zimbabwean people. Because even if the people can fail to fight for themselves, the soil of Zimbabwe is going to fight. So let us contain the situation before it goes out of hand. And we don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we will be led by the people who do not think of the peace of Zimbabwe. Thank you, Kambako.
Honorable Mtapa, any last words?
What I can say now to both sides, usually most of the time, I see the three sides that are fooling the people of Zimbabwe, from the ruling party to the opposition and the imperialists. They are fooling the people of Zimbabwe. They don't care whether the people of Zimbabwe are well led. We are in the middle of a leadership crisis, whereby we need a leadership which simply says, my people first. Before you call in any investor, before you consider anybody from outside who is coming with his or her billions to Zimbabwe, where is the people of Zimbabwe when all these things are happening? The people are the ones that must be considered. A president must be ashamed to be a president of 2.5 million people who have casted into the ballot box. Where is the rest of the millions of the people? The opposition also must be concerned about it. We don't need to keep ourselves on our daily basis speaking about politics, speaking about the so-called democracy, speaking about who is supposed to be the president. We only need better leadership. When you have got better leadership, the people of Zimbabwe will be happy. Only that, better leadership, that's what we are demanding. But if they cannot produce better leadership with their systems, they must admit and accept it peacefully. So you cannot glue yourself onto power until people comes to a certain frustration that the people will do an uprising. You must wait for it, because the people will feel cornered time and again. When people try to talk, you are not listening to them. Go to the people. The people are the ones that can decide the future of this country. We are talking of the generations to come. I'm not talking of myself. I don't want to get 1 million tomorrow because I'm a member of parliament. I'm thinking for the next 300 years to come. But if we still have people who think that they can stay in power only to feed their pockets, only to reach a certain kind of a fame, no, we are looking for better leadership. As we have learned from some of the previous leadership that we've seen throughout Africa. But unfortunately, we've got some governance that is not learning from that. We've got some oppositions that are not learning from that. But we will take that chapter of mental decolonization on our next page when we meet. Mental decolonization. That's what we want to give to the people of Zimbabwe, and the people of Zimbabwe can decide for themselves. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Generals and Honorable Mtapa. It was nice meeting you today for the first time, and I hope that next week we'll be having another update. The ultimatum was given on the 1st of February, so we've got 2 more months, about 2 more months to go, and let's see what happens. Let's see if we get a response. Thank you very much, everybody, and a good night to everybody.